we're bringing all this down, you know, I kind of made it, okay. And when we're through with it, you'll see it. This is a lot more wood that's going to have to be taken off and all that stuff. But anyway, the dog smelt it. I was opening the door to go out on stage, and the dog smelt it. Smelt the other dog, and he kind of growled. I was figuring out, what in the world is this dog growling at, you know? I thought maybe it was the audience or whatever, but that's not what it was. Because he had done really well. We brought him out stage before with some people out in the audience, and it hadn't done. But that dog was laying down, and it was dark out there, so he smelt it. And buddy, he was trying to pull away from me. I didn't know what to do. I thought, what in the heck is this dog going crazy for? And we had, and it was what it was is we had already given a couple of performances, and the dog had done well, but you know, that night, buddy, he smelled that other dog and he growled. And so it then later on, after the intermission and the lights came up and everything like that, I found out and realized this woman had a service dog that she had brought in. And and it was a beautiful dog, but it was, we didn't know about her. I didn't know about it. And I thought the dog wanted to get away from me. In fact, he did. He was trying to pull away from me and go and find out. Of course, I guess not necessarily attack the dog, but to smell it. You know how dogs are. I mean, they see another dog, they run to them, they start smelling one another and all that other stuff. And so the dog, obviously, and I don't know if it was a female or, and I know that the dog we had was a female. So I don't know if it was a male or another female, I don't know. But during intermission, I took the dog out to, I took Lady out to walk her a little bit and let her go to the bathroom. And the lady with the service dog had her dog over there. So she told me to come over there, and I did. And of course, you know, the dogs smelt one another and everything was fine after that, in other words. So I'm just saying that it was a kind of thing. But, you know, animals serve such a wonderful purpose in life. And a lot of people, especially people that have had bad experiences, maybe a woman has gone through a divorce or had bad experiences with men or something like that. And what happens is they decide, well, I don't want to be married ever again and stuff like that. So they take on animals. And I have seen that. I had an aunt who never married, and she had, oh gosh, she had about 3 dogs and about 5 cats. And I mean, you know, it was a lot of animals. So, and those animals were like her children. They really were. And that's fine. That's okay. I'm not speaking against it. I'm just saying that that's what happens with a lot of people in those situations, and it's to keep them from being lonely. And a lot of people say animals treat you better than humans do, and I'm not going to sit there and argue that. I'm not going to sit there and argue that case at all. And so anyway, we're doing our little figure here. In other words, you see how I did the hand where it just cupped up like that, because the hand's going to be holding some flowers. And as you can see now, I'm cutting a lot of the. I went with the smaller knife because when you get down this low, and you're using too big of a knife, then what I did, where I kind of nicked myself with the tip of that knife because it sticks out so far, that can happen. And when you get to smaller places, And this, like I said, this is only a 3-inch tall figure. It's a miniature figure. So we'll just go from there. But now we're going to remove some of this here, back here that we. So that was an interesting, scenario right there. But animals, like I said, the cost of I can't even imagine what it would cost to board a horse or to own a horse and to feed it and everything like that. So animals are just, they're basically a part of society. But like I said, they have tried some experiments with dogs and cats, and where they have taken them into nursing homes and stuff like that, where people that don't have any body live. And the experiment is quite amazing how the nature of that person changes when they're able to own a pet, and or they're able to have a companion. And basically they are companions. I guess that's what you would really call them. I can't sit here and tell you that they're not, because they are companions. And okay, excuse me, let me say something here. Let me shift just a little bit. They are companions, and they are those people. So okay. Excuse me for a minute. My eye. I've had an issue with my eye burning all morning, and sometimes, some days, I just have a burning sensation in my eyes, and it doesn't. I don't get it every day. I just get it some days, where my eyes get real dry. I didn't put anything in them this morning, so okay. There we go. Let's work now. Let's get some of this kind of working here for us. Okay, now that's what I'm looking for. Now let's kind of, we're gonna do a little jacket here, but my friend, she is a veterinarian, and her and her husband are very good friends of mine, and she does a lot of work. She's mostly works in emergency rooms for veterinarians and stuff like that, and she's very good. Her name is Ann Holland, and she talks about people and how, I've had pets. I've had them for my son, and they've got a dog and all that stuff. I don't have a pet. One of the issues is if I have to go somewheres, and being down here on the coast, if we have a hurricane or something and I have to run from a hurricane, then I have to be concerned about how to leave the pet and everything like that. So I just don't fool with pets now. I just don't mess with them, and I don't really care for cats. And I always like dogs. So nothing against cats. I just prefer dogs. I really do. Okay, now we've cut our little thing here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a a little bit up more on the center of the pants here. There we go. But and we just kind of hit it like this and like that. There we go. And we hit it, just kind of bring this a little bit more down in here. These little figures are so much fun to make, they really are. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the shoes in. I just sort of, when I carve, I just sort of go along, and I don't really look for particular type of, planning when I do, because I've done carving so much, or whittling so much. I call my stuff whittling. I don't know why I say carving, because I'm a whittler. And so I don't really plan. My little figures are, but this particular figure, I basically don't plan for the figure as much as I do for the scene itself. So it's really a very pretty day here in Texas, and I know a lot of you are still going through that horrible snowstorm that most people have been going through, and cold and stuff like that, and so I don't want to rub it in. We don't get that Texas bad weather or a bad cold like a lot of people do. For us to get down in the, one day we got down in the 20s a little bit, but nothing. We've never gotten below zero or anything like that here. This weather down here in Texas where I'm at. But you got to understand where I'm at. It's almost at the very, it's on the East Coast near Louisiana and Southeast Texas really, but it's near Louisiana, so we just don't get that strong bad weather. Now we have hurricanes, of course, so we fight that. We don't fight the snowstorms and stuff, but we do fight. So when a cold front comes, for it to get that far down, it's now Dallas, Fort Worth, all those places, they get it pretty heavy. They have a lot of heavy rain and cold and stuff, but we just don't get it. And Texas is such a big state and stuff, but Louisiana, we're like Louisiana. We don't get a lot of what you would call any kind of heavy snow. We have had some. Now we've gotten ice storms sometimes that have been bad, but not snow. And thank God, because down here, the people. Oh gosh, folks, the way the people drive down here, because we're not used to ice storms and ice and stuff like that. People still want to drive 80 miles an hour in bad weather, in ice or I've watched them drive 80 miles an hour in rainstorms that you just couldn't even see. So and we have a lot of accidents down here. We really do. So okay, I'm going to cut for the hand now and just cut a little thing across there and through there and through there, and we're going to cut that flat a little bit because that's where we're going to put our little, it's where yeah, they drive terrible. I remember one time when we had an ice storm down here, there must have been 50, 60, 70 wrecks just within a very short period of time, because people sliding off the road and stuff, because people down here do not know how to drive. They're not used to having to drive in any kind of bad weather. So they are just crazy. And down here, getting out on the roads, you know, I know people, my son lives in Kentucky, and most people drive fairly well and stuff. But down here, they're just crazy. They pay absolutely no attention to weather. They just decide to drive any way you want to. So, which is really, really sad. It's a really sad situation, because very dangerous. We've had a lot of deaths down here because of the way people drive. And you just heard a while ago that was somebody hot rodding around, you know, and they just don't. Recently we had a guy. He was on a motorcycle and he was going so fast. He was coming over an overpass, and he I don't know what he did, but he hit the side of the overpass, and his motorcycle went out of control, and he flipped and he threw his body over the overpass. He landed on the street below, and of course he passed. It was a fatality. But we have those type of things a lot here, because people are so used to driving because the weather is not really that bad. They're not used to slowing down, and they don't like to slow down. They don't. I know it's crazy, but you think that people would understand to slow down, you know, in bad weather, but they don't. I mean, we have rainstorms where you just can't see, like I told you, and they'll still drive 80 miles an hour. In fact, it's gotten so bad down here that they've just lowered the speed limit on one of our streets. Used to be 75, and they've lowered it down to 70 because we've had so many accidents. And they're horrible around here. They're horrible around. I think one of the reasons they did that is they're doing some construction, and they know these crazy people down here will not slow down. And they try to make them understand and that people just don't pay attention. There's a lot of this area right around here. There's a lot of people from out of town that are working in this area, because we're an industrial area. So we have a lot of people that are working, and so we have a lot of different people in this area. Anyway, I'm just telling you a little bit about our area as the safety is concerned. There is. All right, we're going to go to the face now. We're just going to go ahead and from right here, make our center point, which is our nose. And from both sides, I go ahead and just sort of, on both sides of the nose, I just sort of cut that little thing in there, and then we begin to just shape the nose to, now we don't completely shape it, we just shape it a little bit, as you see. Now it's going to be some more shaping to go into this thing and stuff. And okay. And then, as we know, I go from the sides right here, come up over, and that's where we make our ears, sideburns, whatever you want to hair stuff. But yeah, these people are crazy around here. So we get a lot of people from out of town. We've got a lot of people from different, you know, it's like living in Florida. You know, the people in Florida, they don't have that bad weather. So naturally, the road conditions, they're used to driving in road conditions that are, you know, favorable for drivers. Where I know my son, he drives in areas in Kentucky where they, you know, the road conditions cannot become favorable, so he has to be very careful what he does when he drives. And most people of you out there know the situation. But, a lot of people know. They don't, you know, so you're not used to having to restrict your driving. And down here, that's the same way. And you see, I'm bringing the nose down, you know, as I to allow more room here for the situation. And that is one of the things that it makes it very, very dangerous to drive in this area. And even during fog, and that's the, you know, we have a lot of fog down here. We can get a lot of fog because of, and even in foggy areas, people will not slow down. And that causes for a lot of serious accidents that we have. Okay, now as you can see, I'm going to take off a little bit more up the top. See, the thing is, when I make this, I can take some more off the top, and here you go, just like that. All right, let's make just a little. This is our. This is our ears here, and of course I cut down the ears, you know, but I mean, I'm just kind of making a little thing for the ears. There we go. And then you cut down here when we make the ears a lot smaller. And we go to our other side, and I just make a little C. As you can see, I make a little C, and I cut down these ears, and a lot of you have asked me, I didn't know that you did theater or anything like that. We have a local